My name is Simo. Some people know me as Simi, some people know me as Sim, some people know me as Simone, but my name is Simo, and I am 24 years old. I live in a little small town of Agassiz in British Columbia, Canada. A lot of people would describe me as bubbly. Some people would describe me as cheerful, smiley, giggly, a lot of those words. And I would say there's a bit of truth to that. I do tend to laugh a lot. I do tend to smile a lot, and I do tend to have a bubbly persona, I would say. So yeah, there is some truth to that, but that doesn't mean I don't get mad or angry, just like any other human being does. But that's just the gist of it. That's me. I'm a young Christian woman. I would say my faith really sets the tone for how I live my life. I wake up and I go to sleep and I do every single thing for the glory of God. That is how I would really describe my life at this time. Yeah, so that is basically what I live for. That is what I identify with. I'll say that is what my life is really about. It's mostly about my faith. So what can I share to help others? That's a hard one. I'll say we experience life very differently. We see life very differently. People go through a lot of challenges, so I'm not going to undermine that, but I would say wake up every single day and give it your best shot. It's very easy for us to get lost in what's going to happen in the future. What am I going to do? Or I don't have enough money, or there's a lot of problems that this world brings for us, honestly. But I'll say wake up every single morning and do the next right thing with faith and excellence. And as a Christian, I would add that you do it to the glory of God. And when I say the next right thing, I'm not saying do a huge thing. Just do the next right thing. Sometimes it's just getting up and deciding to make breakfast for your kids, or sometimes it's just getting up and deciding to take your dogs out, or just doing your laundry or folding your clothes, just one step at a time. Just do the next right thing. Just take it one step at a time, and just start with that. Honestly, I'll say everything needs a first step, and I'll say those should be your first steps. Just get up in the morning and do the next right thing. It can be just making breakfast for yourself, just taking your dogs out, cleaning up your room, making your bed. It doesn't have to be something huge or massive, but the amount of accomplishment you'd feel when you just take the first step is unbelievable. So I'll say try that, and I hope it does work for you. What motivates me? I'll say my family motivates me. I live overseas, so I don't have any family here, but just the thought of my family keeps me going. That's what wakes me up every single morning, reminding me why I'm doing what I'm doing and who I'm doing it for. And that keeps me going, that keeps me encouraged, and most importantly, I feel like my faith also does keep me encouraged and keeps me going. So that is what motivates me. That's what gets me up every single morning, even when I don't feel like it. Even when I feel like giving up, I always remember, but my mom or my brother or my sister. So those are the little steps that I take, the little steps that keep me motivated and that keep me going. So what's my end goal? My end goal is to be the best version that God wants me to be, which is a reflection of himself, which is a light to other people. It is to live for God and not for myself, and that comes through serving others very faithfully and with very little complaint. And I'm not saying that I'm doing that very well. I mean, I'm human. I complain a lot, and sometimes I just don't want to wake up, or I don't want to do stuff for other people. But that's my end goal, to be the best version that God wants me to become. So what are the steps that I'm taking to achieve my goals? I'll say the first step that I'm taking is reading my Bible. It is also trying to live outside of myself, I would say, which is to try to devote time to others too, and to serving others. And I know we don't always have that amount of time in our hands, honestly. Not all of us have the amount of time to go volunteer somewhere or do this and that. But I would say the first thing I would do to achieve my goals, to become the best version that God wants me to be, is to smile, is to share a smile with somebody. Being somebody who communicates with facial expressions, I smile a lot and I giggle a lot. I think I've mentioned that before, but I think smiling goes a long ways for so many people. Sometimes I'm just having a bad day, and it takes somebody who says hi with a huge smile. They don't want to talk to me, they don't want a conversation, but it's just the smile that gets me going. I say, oh wow, somebody feels like somebody cares. So it's just those small little steps, and being kind to people. Honestly, sometimes when I don't even feel like it, I don't think a lot of people feel like it, to be honest. Sometimes we feel like people don't deserve our kindness, and that's fair. Smile, right? Do the best you can, and don't beat yourself up about it when you just can't get there. And I don't think any human being can ever get to a certain point. We cannot get to perfection, and we can't do everything perfectly. So I think it's fair to be once in a while frustrated with yourself for not being able to get there, but I feel like you should just get up and just move on from there. Do the best you can, be kind to people, be willing to live outside of something other than yourself. At least those are the steps that I'm taking to achieve my goals, and to also be grateful. There's a lot, as I've mentioned before, there's a lot that's going on in this life, and it's so easy for all of us to forget the small blessings that we get every single day. I live in Canada. As I said, I live in a small town in Agassiz. I don't live in a war zone right now, honestly, and that's one small thing I am grateful for. I have running water, I have food. It's those small things that I try to remind myself every single day that I've been blessed with. And I say, oh, God gave me these wonderful things right now. And try to be grateful and remember the small blessings that have come my way. Because if I don't, man, there's a lot that goes on out there, and it's so easy to forget that we are still blessed, right? So how can I overcome the hurdles and exceed expectation? Is to not expect myself to be perfect, honestly. At the same time, I'm not saying I should be comfortable being in a place that's not, getting to where I want to get to, if you understand what I'm saying. But I'm saying, I'm trying to understand that, hey, I'm not perfect, but that doesn't mean I have to stop. That doesn't mean I have to quit. That doesn't mean I have to give up. I need to keep going. So I wake up the next day and I try again. If there's somebody I need to forgive, I forgive them. Or if somebody I need to ask for forgiveness for, I need to ask forgiveness for. Am I claiming that I'm doing this perfectly? No, quite the contrary. But I think it's important for us to remind ourselves that we're not perfect, and we're not always going to get it right, and that's okay. That's okay. We shouldn't expect ourselves to get it right, but that doesn't mean we don't have to try. So we got to keep going. And as I said, I always try to remember my family. Those are the people that keep me motivated and help me overcome the hurdles and exceed expectations, and getting to where I want to be in life. So that's me. So how would I summarize who I am and what my goals are? I'm just a young lady who is trying to get through this life. And I've come to a point of realizing that material wealth, money is not going to give me all that I need or all that I want. I can get anything I want material wise, well, with money, if I have enough money, of course, but not in this economy. But I think it's very important to become the version that God has decided that I should become, and that is my main goal, striving to be what He has decided that I should become, and living for Him, and being the light in this world, the light that He wants me to be for other people, right? It's either through sharing a smile or laughing, even when I don't feel like it, or giving my time to somebody else or something else, or to even just listen. But I constantly have to remind myself to beat myself up about it, and to say it. I have to remind myself and not beat myself up about it, and to say that, hey, I'm not perfect and I'm not going to do this perfectly, and that's fine. That's okay. And I have to keep going. And to rely on the strength that God has given me to wake up every single day, even when I don't feel like it, and do what He has told me to do, which is to be a light in this world, as I've mentioned before. So yeah, that is the story of my life. Not very interesting, honestly, but I hope you can pick something from there. Anyway, ciao, have a good day. Stay out of the sun.